Hello everybody, welcome to the MaffmanJones movie channel. I'm your host John Maffio, and if you haven't noticed, I'm not the only one in the room today. Would you like to introduce yourself, sir?
What is going on, everyone? Pulp Christian here.
Like Pulp Fiction, but his name is Christian.
I am also a fellow YouTuber.
Yes, and we both live on Staten Island.
And we both went to high school together.
Yeah, isn't that crazy? If you are in high school right now, you may be hanging out with somebody that you don't hang out with 10 years from now. That's just a fact of life. These cool things happen, but you started making videos recently, and I thought it would be cool if we both got together and talked about some of the worst January movies that have come out in the past 10 years or so. We could do like 50 years, but that would probably take a lifetime. So,
And, you kids don't like rambling.
No, I guess not. And also, we got an audience member with my dog right here, but you can't see him, he's off camera. We got a little notepad, and there's been a few good movies that have come out in the past 10 years in January, but they're rare and few and far in between, including Rambo, Cloverfield, The Grey, and last year's Split. But yeah, we're just going to go through a whole list and our general opinions on what's what. Anything before we go on, sir?
You know what? I think we're ready.
All right.
I'm very, very satisfied right now. Let's just keep this thing moving.
Let's do it. Starting with 2008. One Missed Call.
What a movie to start with, One Missed Call. I think it's probably one of the most mediocre horror movies I probably ever saw. It was like this very generic idea, and honestly, it just went nowhere.
Yeah, it did go nowhere. It's one of those movies that it seems like it's quintessential for January, though. It's a movie where you get killed after you miss a call. Okay.
Yeah,
let's put some creepy...
I mean, dude, it sounds like a bootleg Scream.
Yeah, pretty much. Just put on some distorted faces and you're set. But I don't know, stupid ass movie. Then we have one of those Meet the Spartans, those spoof movies. Who remembers those? Does anybody remember those? Do you?
Oh, I remember those. I remember them very, very well. I remember seeing Epic Movie back in when I was in middle school. Okay, and that's actually part of the series, the Epic Movie, the Disaster Movie, all of them. Yes. And honestly, they all had this really dumb, almost like a toilet humor inside it, which sometimes is absolutely cringy.
Yeah, well, you can do toilet humor decently, cleverly, but they just it's literally just because they had nothing else in their
exactly.
pockets.
They took whatever happened during the year, okay, and they pretty much put it on screen, and maybe they thought it was funny. It was almost like seeing a Mad Magazine on screen.
Yeah. And that sounds like it's not a bad idea for a movie, but also it dates your movie horribly. And anybody who watches the movie in 5 years will be like, "The fuck is this?"
Exactly. I mean, it was funny the first time, but after a while, no. After the fifth movie, God, please stop.
Well, eventually they'll die out and they'll actually make smart spoof movies again. And the last movie I had to mention was 27 Dresses. Katherine Heigl. Rom-com.
Yeah,
I never saw it.
Katherine Heigl cannot do movies. I'm sorry. She was good in, what was that movie with Seth Rogen? It was Knocked Up, exactly. She was very good in that. But then after that, her career kind of just went into a tailspin.
Yeah, well, I heard she's horrible to work with. I mean, I don't want to put anything out there.
No, we have nothing against Katherine Heigl.
I've heard she's not easy to work with on set, so maybe that kind of was the start of, let's put you in shitty movies and just kind of knock you off Hollywood.
Well, she was a TV actress, too. That's also part of it.
Yeah, well, she'll always have Grey's Anatomy, I guess.
Yeah.
She'll have those paychecks the rest of her life. Now, moving on to 2009.
2009.
First is The Unborn, the first big horror movie of the year, because it always is. Did you ever hear of The Unborn?
Yes, I have. I remember seeing the trailer for it, and it actually looked pretty cool. But then it's one of those movies when you actually see it in theaters, it's actually very disappointing.
Do you remember Gary Oldman was in it too?
Yes, I do. The commissioner was in there.
Yeah, it kind of gives you hope, if Gary Oldman chose to be on this project, it must be
exactly.
Okay.
It's almost like if John Goodman shows up in movies. You expect the movie to be decent with John Goodman most of the time,
But I guess they all need their paychecks once in a while.
Exactly.
There's another one that came out, My Bloody Valentine 3D. Never saw it.
I've seen the original My Bloody Valentine, the one that came out, I believe, in the 70s or something, and then you have...
Oh, it's a remake?
Yeah, it is a remake. Sometimes a lot of people forget about that one. But then they made, this, remake for this new one that came out back then, and honestly, it was in 3D, and there was really no reason for it to be in 3D.
So it's one of those movies that came out, and they were just trying to take advantage of the Avatar thing.
Exactly. They took advantage of the whole 3D thing. It was, a bit of a cash grab for them, but it really worked out.
Yeah. Oh, well.
Yeah, tragic.
Then we have Paul Blart Mall Cop.
Where do we start with this one, Matt? I don't know.
I actually have a fond memory of seeing this in theaters at the time. It was kind of like one of those first movies I saw, and like I have a vivid memory of where I was and what was happening that time. But it's a bad movie. Yeah. Kevin James. I'm kind of feel sad for him that he gets rolled like this. But I mean, more power to him. People like the movies.
It's kind of more typecast with him. You know, he plays as a fat guy. It's kind
tumbling
of
over stuff.
Yeah. Exactly.
Kind of like the Melissa McCarthy thing that she was doing for a while too.
Mm-hmm.
It's unfortunate.
It's unfortunate, but he found a bit of a cash grab there.
Yeah, sure.
He did, maybe. But it was critically terrible.
Yeah. Oh, absolutely. I remember all that shit.
Toilet humor.
And then we have the first Underworld... You're going to see this being repeated a lot in this video, but there was an Underworld movie that came out, Rise of the Lycans.
Yeah, unfortunately, the Underworld that we grew up with is totally changed. It used to be a decent franchise. It was promising, but... tailspin.
Yeah.
That's really a good way to describe it.
Get ready to hear more Underworld in a few minutes. But for now, we're going to 2010, and we got Leap Year. It was a movie with Amy Adams. It was some rom-com. Never saw it, but I heard it just kind of fell off the radar. Have you ever seen
Actually, unfortunately, I haven't. I mean, since you said rom-com, I really don't watch, like, rom-coms. Understand? I know, I feel like a manly man right now, but I just don't watch rom-coms. But Amy Adams, I know, great actress, but... she's really good in action movies and, like, dramatic kind of movies.
Yeah. But this is before they found out what she was really capable of doing. So they're just like, let's throw you in a rom-com. Sure.
Every actress has to do a rom-com. Look at Katherine Heigl.
Except people don't like Katherine Heigl. Burr. Then we have The Spy Next Door. It's a Jackie Chan movie that I never saw either, but apparently it came out in January. Do you have anything to say?
Jackie Chan, great martial artist, but please just stop doing these annoying comedies. I loved Rush Hour.
What about, did you see The Foreigner that came out last year?
No, I haven't.
He plays like a badass Liam Neeson type.
You see, but that's what I want to see out of Jackie Chan, though.
Yeah.
Badass Jackie Chan needs to make a comeback.
Oh, he has to. Actually, he should. And if Foreigner's any indication that he is.
Man, he got to start on a Bruce Lee movie, man. Come on.
Then we have Legion starring Paul Bettany, Vision from the Avengers, and he was an angel. And there was people in... I remember... I never saw the movie. But
it took place in a diner, I think.
Yeah, and they were being picked off by, like, demons or something.
Another movie where I think, in the trailer, looked pretty good. It was one of those movies that in the trailer pretty much came out, in, like, the fall or something. Yeah. And it looked pretty decent, you know, kind of like a good thriller, supernatural kind of thing. But then, again, this seems to be a constant for most of these movies. Is it a horror movie? I have no idea.
It looked like a horror movie based on what they were selling you, but you couldn't tell me any different.
Exactly. You know, a lot of people might say it's a horror movie. I don't know. When I watched it, I didn't think it was a horror movie. But maybe I just don't think a lot of movies are scary. I have no idea.
We're cynical because we're too old.
We are too old, man. We've seen too much.
And here's a real horror movie, The Tooth Fairy. This was the last big release of January.
Yeah.
With Dwayne Johnson before he became the person that we know today, who's like in a lot of good, fun movies.
Yeah, you know what? I'm glad that he went back into action movies, because that was a good stop in his career right there.
Yeah, you could. I mean, it's.
Don't you miss when The Rock was a wrestler?
I do. He's been a wrestler though, hasn't
he? He's been a wrestler. He kind of came back, but
the guy works
then
every
he
day.
start, trying to go into like these really crappy movies like The Tooth Fairy. I don't know why he was in this in the first place, but he just was.
It was like a weird in-between period. I remember there was like a long time where people were like, is Dwayne Johnson the next action star for this new generation? And he was, but then he kind of stopped.
Yeah, I mean, then after that, he was in, I think it was Fast 5, right?
That's what.
And then that pretty much resurrected everything back into it. Now, Dwayne Johnson's Dwayne Johnson now.
Moving on to 2011, the first big movie of that year was Season of the Witch, a Nicolas Cage movie. Never saw it.
Oh, yeah. I try not to watch too many modern Nicolas Cage movies. It's a real shame. But I've heard this movie is terrible. Okay? And a lot of people do talk about it as being one of the worst movies of all time. I have heard that before. And I can totally understand. But, again, it's one of those movies not a lot of people have watched.
Yeah,
which is fine. Please don't watch it.
Let's get a Nick Cage resurgence where he actually makes good bad movies.
Yeah, good bad movies, like Gone in 60 Seconds, bro. I thoroughly enjoyed that movie. It wasn't the best movie, but it was entertaining. That's what you want out of Nick Cage.
That's do what you want. Just over-the-top performances from him.
Yeah, exactly.
Then we have Green Hornet, which is like, it was a Seth Rogen movie, but it was like based on a comic book. I remember thinking, what the hell is this? Actually, and Christoph Waltz is the villain in it. Which
always sounds good on paper.
Yeah. But now he's in every movie as a villain or
Yep.
some kind of weird character.
He's almost typecast as a villain now.
Yeah, it's almost a shame because he has a lot of range as an actor.
Oh, I know. The guy has 2 Academy Awards, guys. We kind of forget that sometimes.
Give him good work. Damn
Please, Quentin, give him another movie role, okay?
Then we have a Ron Howard movie that was Dilemma. It had Channing Tatum. I remember it had Channing Tatum and Vince Vaughn in it. And they used
What
CeeLo
a
Green
match
in the trailer.
made in heaven that is. Vince Vaughn and Channing Tatum. I can't find 2 more complete opposites.
And the last big movie that came out that year in January was The Right. It had Anthony Hopkins in it. I think he was like a priest. That's all I remember because his face was on the posters. Have you ever seen?
Anthony Hopkins
The
is
Right?
a priest, man. That just sounds weird. You know,
Yeah.
a Hannibal Lecter, man. Come on. I've heard of The Right, okay? And what was it, like one of those, like...
I think it was
Was
a
it?
possession movie.
It was
but
a possession movie,
wrong.
right?
I'm just talking out of my ass right now.
I think sometimes we do have to because, you know, these movies, some of us, you know, we probably have never seen them, you know?
Yeah.
And there's just so much little things to describe about these movies because they're just, you don't remember them sometimes.
Yeah. Well, the other thing is that we're going to go through it. There's like so many movies that come out every single year now. We're like, there's literally a few movies every single weekend, and you're never going to see every single movie that comes out. You'll spend your whole life trying to catch up.
Mhm.
But yeah, it's just one of those. Moving on to 2012, we have another devil thing, the Devil Inside.
The Devil Inside. Sounds like a name of a metal band.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah. Is this one of those movies, the things where the devil gets some girl pregnant or something?
No, that's another one that's coming up in another year.
Oh, okay. All right. So what the hell is this one about?
I just remember it was a documentary type movie,
Wait a minute. I remember this.
and there was a girl with like she did this
Yes,
with her mouth, and
I
there was,
remember
There
this.
was like notes inside her gums.
It was one of those found footage horror movies, and it was, yeah, it kind of just led to nothing.
Then we have another movie that
Okay.
led to nothing besides the downward spiral of Mark Wahlberg, kind of. Contraband. The first movie I reviewed on this channel, ever.
I'm sorry to hear that, man.
Yeah, I know.
That movie was generic.
We all gotta start somewhere. Next, Underworld Awakening, the next sequel of the Underworld
I
franchise.
feel so bad for Kate Beckinsale.
Yeah, where the plot? I don't even remember the plot of the last 2 we just spoke of. Is it
I don't know.
relevant?
I haven't seen really an Underworld movie since the one of the Rise of the Lycans, because I forgot that they made 2 others after that.
Yeah, that speaks to how much people care about this franchise anymore.
I know, and
But they're
Kate
still making
Beckinsale
them.
is so hot, but we just don't want to see the Underworld series anymore.
I guess not.
I
Maybe
guess not.
maybe the one that came out last year will be the last one.
Yeah, maybe.
Then we have Sam Worthington as a man on a ledge.
Oh my god.
This movie sucked.
I hated the title, okay? I'm just gonna tell you right now, I hate the title of that
Piece of
movie.
grass on a lawn. Like you couldn't get more generic.
Fly on the wall.
Yeah, really. And then the last movie that I put down here was Haywire. It was a Gina Carano movie, but all her lines were dubbed over, and I remember thinking it was... Channing Tatum was in it, too. It was really weird. Have you ever seen...
Oh,
You know what I'm
Haywire.
talking about.
Yes, I do, actually, I do. I remember we get one of those movies that you see the trailer from it when we usually can see in movies in the fall.
It looked
All the
interesting,
time. And
honestly.
it did, because you know what? Gina Carano is a really good, I'm not going to say a great actress, but she seems like to put on a really good action role sometimes, if you know what
Yeah.
I mean. You know? I mean, she was really good in Deadpool.
I forgot she was in Deadpool.
Oh my god.
I just took a second and thought about it. Oh my god.
She was also in the Fast and Furious franchise, too.
She was.
She was. So, I mean, she's a really good, like, action actress, but that's pretty much it.
Yeah.
And this movie, her playing as a lead, though, she can't do lead. She's a supporter.
No.
She'll always be a supporter.
I'm glad it took a chance on it, but I guess it didn't really pay off the way that she wanted to or anybody else wanted to. Moving on to 2013, more 3D movies because they weren't dead yet at the time. Texas Chainsaw 3D, and it starred Alexander Daddario and Trey Songz.
Trey Songz.
One of the worst fucking movies I've ever seen. I don't even want to get into it. Have
Let's
you?
not. Did 3D die after that, or I have no idea? Did they finally put it out of its misery?
From what I understand, they haven't really... There's none on this list after this year, but I'm
Okay.
sure there was a couple more 3D movies
Because they
that
seem to
came out.
love making 3D movies in January. I don't know what the obsession is.
Then we have Gangster Squad. It had a really, really incredible cast.
That an ensemble cast, actually.
The movie you thought would be coming out in like the summer, and then you see the movie and you're like, oh, that's why it came out in January. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
And this movie's actually like really bad. Movie 43. It was like a weird SNL thing where they did like a bunch of skits with a lot of really famous actors. Hugh Jackman was in it. Well, you never seen this, right?
No, but I know it's overbloated, and it's like one of those, like, remember New Year's Day?
Yep.
Same kind of idea, different kind of, like, I think it was like stories, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But I mean, I don't know if I'm probably not gonna sell you on the movie to watch just for shits and giggles. But there's a scene, one of the skits is Hugh Jackman and Halle Berry going on a date, and Hugh Jackman has balls on his chin.
Oh.
And that's what you really need to know.
Did this movie get a 0% on Rotten Tomatoes?
I hope so.
Yeah, I think so. With that
really
kind of
hope
scene,
so.
if that's one of the stories in there, please, that's a 0%, man. It was
Yeah.
on my book.
Ugh.
I'm sorry.
Moving on to 2014, we have Paranormal Activity: The Marked Ones.
Paranormal Activity should have died after the third one. I'm just gonna put it out there.
And I gotta be honest, I actually like the trilogy. They're not great movies, but they're fun for the horror genre.
Yeah, no, it is. I mean,
okay. It's good. No,
I'm a sucker for found footage horror movies sometimes. Okay,
Yeah,
I love the
done
Blair
right.
Witch Project. I love VHS. I
Sure.
love the first couple of Paranormal Activities.
Yeah.
But it kind of just got,
yeah,
a little overplayed sometimes, especially something like this with this Paranormal Activity movie.
yeah.
I don't know.
And then we have The Legend of Hercules. Never saw it. Heard it's bad. Have you ever seen Legend of Hercules?
Legend of
Christian?
Hercules. Okay, who was the actor in that movie? Because this really sounds very familiar.
Kellen Lutz.
Oh, who is
From
that?
He was from Twilight.
Twilight. Oh, that's probably why I didn't see it then. Okay.
Moving on then. The animated movie The Nut Job, which got a sequel recently. Because I remember they made a sequel, Nuttier or something like that. Now here we're getting to that movie you were talking about, Devil's Due.
Okay, so that's the one where it's almost like a Rosemary's Baby or something.
Yep.
Yeah.
But it's like found footage again.
Found footage. It's a lot of found footage movies that come out in January too.
Yeah.
And not even good ones either.
I think finally we're getting like actual decent, like Blumhouse is putting out horror movies now. This is before Blumhouse actually became like really prevalent in the industry.
Mhm.
And it was like, yeah, let's just record a couple who gets, that they are gonna have a baby.
Yeah, they're like, okay, let's take a chance, but I have this really weird script, okay? Girl's gonna have a baby who's the devil. But we've seen that before. But no, this will be found footage, man.
It'll be
okay?
different.
It'll be different.
All the kids will love it. And they'll all sneak in after they try to see the nut job. I Frankenstein with Aaron Eckhart as Frankenstein's
What is
monster.
that if Apple makes a Frankenstein movie?
Sure, that would be a better movie than what we actually got. Moving on to 2015, Johnny Depp's Mordecai. Never saw it.
I saw
I avoid the shit like the plague.
I
It
saw
looks
some
horrible.
pictures of that movie, man, and when I saw Johnny Depp with that mustache, I was like, what the hell is this? What is this acid trip movie I'm looking at?
It seems in the right direction for him.
Listen,
He's playing
Johnny
a
Depp
weird
would
character.
take anything, man, at this point, okay?
Yeah,
I'm sorry, but that's just how his career is now.
I kind of feel bad, but also apparently he beats on. I don't know. Have you heard the whole allegation with him?
With Amber Heard?
Yeah.
Yeah, you
So
know what,
if
Johnny
he's
Depp?
a shitty person,
Johnny
I don't
Depp,
care.
screw you, man. How could you even abuse a very hot woman like that?
How can you abuse
Okay.
any woman? But yeah, let alone what the fuck's wrong with you? People like you, okay? Turn yourself around. And then we have The Boy Next Door. It was a Jennifer Lopez movie where she has sex with an underage kid in high school, but the actor looks like he's like 25, and he also he's chiseled to the bone. Like, I don't know.
Cringe.
It was really bad.
Please tell me you didn't see this, bro.
My girlfriend forced me to see it.
Dude, I am so sorry to hear that.
Yeah.
This is why I'm single, guys, okay?
It was one of those movies that's fun to make fun of, though. It's bad enough that you kind of just like every time something happens in the plot.
Yeah,
it's like,
I mean, dude, listen. Whenever a movie Jennifer Lopez is in, it's always bad.
Yeah.
So-
No, but she has some decent movies. in
Yeah,
her.
I guess, man. I probably maybe was looking at the wrong places, but
Yeah.
who knows?
And the last movie is The Loft.
The Loft.
You ever hear of The Loft?
Isn't that It was a movie. It's about like 4 friends or something. It's about it's like this murder mystery kind of thing.
Yeah, they find this girl naked, dead, chain cuffed or something, and then they're all like, "Who did it? Which one of you did
it
it?"
sounds like a really good slow burning thriller.
It could be a Hitchcockian fun type, yeah, but and the execution of it was really bad.
See, that's always the bad part. You know, it looks good on paper, and at the end, it's just total
Yeah.
crap.
Moving on to 2016, which actually had some pretty decent movies in there, like Kung Fu Panda 3, which I thought was fine, and 13 Hours, the only good Michael Bay movie I've seen in the past 10 years. Have you seen either of those?
I saw 13 Hours, and it was a typical Michael Bay movie. We'll say it right now.
Well, the way it's filmed and stuff.
The way it's filmed, typical Michael Bay. But it was bad. It was actually a really decent movie, Yeah. Decent story, decent acting. I was kind of surprised. At the beginning, I was like, ooh, a Michael Bay movie. Nah, this is going to be complete garbage. And then I saw it, I was like, oh, okay.
You should stick to doing that instead of Transformers.
Yeah.
But yeah, moving on to the bad movies. The Forest. Horror movie starring Marjorie Tyrell from Game of Thrones.
Sounds like the sequel to The Village.
Yeah.
Might as well be.
Another movie that has the word "the" in it, The Boy.
The Boy. Wow, man. Generic titles 101 right here. The Forest, The Boy.
The Lamp.
Dude, what did they get, like a 5th grader to come up with these
Stool.
names? Like, come on, man.
I guess.
They paid probably some college kid $30 and a pizza to come up with these movies.
I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah, I think so. It's bad.
It's a shame. Then we have, speaking of shame, Dirty Grandpa, which has some pretty good talent in it.
Yeah, but it's a good movie for parents to watch and for them to laugh at. Okay? Because they love the humor, but we don't.
But it's just Robert De Niro. I didn't see it, but it seems like Robert De Niro is making fun of
being
himself.
Old. Like in his last 5 movies, him making fun of being old.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like Robert De Niro, he's like kind of like one of those actors who's doing anything for a paycheck these days.
Yeah.
He doesn't
need to do anything big anymore. He'll just sit there and be like, I'll be in that movie.
Going finally to the last year, which is last year, 2017, starting with the last Underworld movie that's come out, Blood Wars. It was bad.
Please don't tell me I haven't seen it, man. Please don't tell me.
It's what you would expect.
Oh, God. Terrible. Again, like I said, franchise, it's dead. It's dead. Just stop making these Underworld movies.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if they made like another one.
Oh, they will. And it'll have a really generic name next to it, too.
There was a cliffhanger for the last
Blood
one.
Wars. I said.
Because the Lycans and the vampires, the blood.
Yeah.
The Bye-Bye Man.
Wasn't it that, I remember there was like a horror movie. It was that horror movie that came out in January, right?
Yeah, it was a movie where you can't say it or think it.
Yeah.
Meanwhile,
I remember there was like a ton of memes for it back in January.
It's like a Slender Man ripoff.
Mm-hmm.
But it there's nothing good about it. It's like one of those. It's actually like so bad that it's fun to watch though. If you watched it, I would recommend.
I'd probably get a kick out of it. I love crap horror movies, guys. It's like one of my little.
Oh, this is all for you then. This is a movie you should definitely watch.
Ah, perfect.
Just don't spend money on it.
Oh, please. I would never spend money on that. Maybe it'll come on Netflix eventually.
Yeah, maybe. Then we have the new Triple X, Return of Xander Cage. Which, have you seen Fast and Furious 5, 6, 7, or 8? Then you've already seen this movie.
And, Mr. Ma, please tell us the last movie.
Resident Evil, the final chapter.
My poor Resident Evil. It's ruined.
Yep.
Okay? I remember when it was just a game franchise. A very good game franchise. And then the first few movies came out, and I was like, oh, okay. Not bad. Not bad. And then, as it went along, it just got more ridiculous and ridiculous and ridiculous. Just like how the regular Resident Evil franchise is. Until Resident Evil 7, where that actually is a phenomenal game. Okay? But this was not a phenomenal movie at all.
No. It's annoying how it's called the final chapter. When you see final chapter, it's the final. If any movie's the last movie, you think, okay, so they're gonna see conclusion. They're gonna resolve things. You're gonna have like, you're actually gonna feel like this is the last movie.
Yeah.
But it doesn't feel like that at all. It just feels like another entry with the same shit, the same schlock, and then they kind of confuse the fuck out of you at the very end.
The latest game, it was a first-person Resident Evil game. Okay? But it was like one of the best Resident Evil games that probably has come out recently. Okay? It pretty much was back to the roots of the original Resident Evil. We would love to see that back to the roots in the latest Resident Evil movie, but
they should
do that.
Apparently like a month after this movie came out, they were planning on rebooting this franchise already, which is insane to me. But if you're really gonna make another Resident Evil movie and start from scratch, get people who care, first of all. Second off, base it more on the games people actually care about.
Let the lead characters be like Jill Valentine, Chris Redfield, Leon Kennedy. That's what people we want to see.
But even if you don't put the characters in there, if you want to make your own thing, put it in the spirit of the game, of the original games. Don't just make an action franchise.
We haven't really explained this a lot, but why are January movies so shitty?
it's probably a mix of a lot of things. I think because there's 12 months in the year, and there's, again, like I said before, there's so many movies that are released on a weekly basis. The hundreds of movies. You can never really catch up if you're really trying to see everything. But you gotta put the bad movies somewhere, and logically, you would put it the month after Christmas, the month after all these big releases come out, like Star Wars or your Avatars, when they're gonna start coming out again, or like your holiday films. Families, people are going back to school, people are financially down and they're trying to get back up again. So
also,
you have that month to like regain.
The other big thing too was the Academy Awards also play a big part in this too. Everyone wants to see those Academy Award nominated movies before they're actually up for the the award.
Because they're in limited release in December, and a lot in like LA and New York,
and people they're just watching them on demand too. You know, they don't want to go out to the theaters; they want to watch those movies. Yeah. So again, that plays a big part too. And the other thing too is that the producers they pretty much put these January movies out almost as like a test run. You know?
Yeah, it depends. Not for the horror movies, I think.
No, not for the horror movies.
It depends. Yeah, like for other ones though.
Like the more ambitious ones, it's more of like a proving ground for them to see if they actually would perform.
And I guess that's all we have to really say about January movies of the past 10 years. It's been really fun, kind of reflecting on the past 10 years of how it's been. It's actually, I think it's gotten a little bit better.
A little bit better. Maybe we'd see a trend. I have no idea, but we'll see what happens next year.
Yeah. I mean, in a world where we get like 200 blockbuster movies on a yearly basis now, maybe they'll start putting blockbuster movies in January, like as regular releases, but we'll have to see. Anything else you want to say before we wrap this up?
Well, guys, what we gave you there was literally like a barrel of shit. So, I recommend maybe watching a few of them here and there. Okay? There are a few really good ones there that are probably like worth a view. You know, but most of them, do not watch it. If we sat there and said that the movie was absolute crap, do not watch it. Okay?
No. And if you're going to, just make sure you don't use money. Like,
yes.
Actually, just like rent it. If it's on Netflix or it's on Hulu, what have you, whatever streaming service you got.
Watch it there, man. You know, don't pay for these movies.
And also bring friends or family or along with you so you can all laugh at the absurdity of it.
That's why I love doing it, man. I love sitting there, bring a few friends, and we just make fun of a movie.
Yeah.
We just rip it apart.
If anything you can say, it's a nice thing about these movies is that they're fun to see with friends.
Yes.
Because you can all shit on them together. It brings people together in a weird, ironic way.
Hopefully, Mr. Maff over here will be putting a link to my channel.
You already know it. I'm pointing at it.
Yeah, he's pointing at it right now. Follow that link to my channel, guys. My name is Pulp Christian. I do a lot of rant videos. I actually do a lot of gaming videos. I try to do something different every single week, okay? That's just what it is. I love a variety. So, if you're curious, swing on by. Give me a like, give me a comment. Check out my vids.
Do it. And as always, I am John Maffio, aka MaffmanJones. Please like this video, subscribe to this channel if you haven't already so you will never miss any videos from me ever again. Check out Pulp Christian, like he said before. And that's it. Hopefully the rest of January isn't that bad. Actually, it hasn't been bad yet, at least in my opinion. But moving on, hopefully the rest of the year has some good promise. I'm John Maffio.
And I'm Pulp Christian.
We'll see you guys next time.
next time.
Boom.